Hey everyone, my name is Lakesh and today I'm going to show you how to conjugate irregular verbs in the future tense. And as I explained last video, I'll be teaching the future tense in two separate videos. One video on how to conjugate regular verbs and when to use the future tense, and another video on how to conjugate irregular verbs in the future tense. So prior knowledge, this is what I'm expecting you to know before I teach you how to conjugate irregular verbs in the future tense. I'm expecting you to know how to conjugate au revoir in the present tense, how to conjugate a regular verb in the future tense, and when to use the future tense. If you're unsure about any of these three grammar topics, I highly urge you to just pause this video, go find related videos regarding these three grammar concepts. Because if you know these three grammar concepts really well, it will make the rest of this video really easy to understand. On the other hand, if you don't know these grammar concepts, it's only going to make this harder for you. So let's crack on with irregular verbs in the future tense. Here are the irregular future stems for a lot of irregular verbs. What we learned last video was that if it's a regular verb, you can follow set rules for forming the future stem. For example, if it's a regular ER verb, the future stem of that regular ER verb is just going to be the whole infinitive. However, for these irregular verbs, those rules don't apply. So what you'll just have to do is just learn the future stem for these verbs. There's no patterns, you're just going to have to memorize it. Okay, so how to conjugate irregular verbs in the future. Here's our table of irregular verbs in the future stem. You get the future stem of your regular verb, and you add the same endings, the exact same endings if it was irregular. So let's say if we want to translate I will have. Here, the verb we're conjugating is to have, which is au revoir. We need to conjugate au revoir in the future. We need to get the future stem of au revoir, which is AUR. And then the personal pronoun here is je, so which means we'll have to add AI to AUR, which is j'aurai. Okay, let's run through another example. As she will know, the verb for to know is savoir, which means we'll need to conjugate savoir in the future tense, which means we'll need the future stem of savoir, which is SAUR. And then since the personal pronoun will be L, we're going to have to add the ending A onto the future stem SAUR. So it'll be L saurai. Now let's summarize the future tense and bring in what we know about regular verbs and irregular verbs. First of all, we need to get the future stem of the verb. If the verb is regular, you use these rules to get the future stem. However, if it's irregular, you're going to have to use the individual future stem for each of these irregular verbs. Then, regardless if the verb is regular or irregular, you're going to have to add these in. Let's go through an example. So I will find. The verb here is to find, which is trouver in French. Trouver is a regular verb, so we're just going to use these rules to form the future stem. Trouver is an ER verb, so we're just going to use the whole infinitive. And then the personal pronoun is I, so I'm going to add the ending AI onto my future stem. So it'll be je trouverai. Let's go for another example. They will come. So the verb here is to come, which is venir in French. Venir isn't a regular verb, so we can't use these rules. We're going to have to use the irregular stem, which in this case for venir is viandre. The personal pronoun is either elles or ils. We're going to have to add ONT onto this future stem. Now I'll do a rap to help you remember the irregular future stems. AER, SER, IR, FER, VOUDR, POURR, VER, VINDR, SAUR, DEVR. That's it. I hope I've explained things clearly to you and you understand how to conjugate irregular and regular verbs in the future tense. If you don't quite get it now, feel free to just rewatch the video as much times as you need to understand it. Good luck, guys, with your studies.